Hey guys, so Bike Edition's been out for Android for a week or so, and I want to give you guys a level 1 tune for the Thundercat. This is a 1/8 mile tune. Now before I do that, I want to show you some bugs that you guys may have come across and may be wondering why your tune's not sticking. Let me show you what I've found. If you go to the upgrades and if you look at the gearbox, you'll see that I have it set at the first one. The first one's installed, even though I did purchase the second one. But every time I select the second chain and sprocket set and I have that installed, let me show you what happens. I'll go and I'll tune my bike, right? Let me this is what I have it tuned at, but the tune will not stick. As soon as I'm done testing it out, driving and everything, and I leave the testing mode, my tune goes back. Now you see I went back into the tuning mode, and you saw that my tire pressure, my NOS, my front and rear sprocket, it is changed. That's not what I had it at. I had it at this right here. That's what I had it at. But as soon as I leave this, yeah, I'll do a test and I think it's fine, but then I leave. I do a race, it's all messed up. I go back in and it won't be the same. So what I recommend is, until I don't know if this is a bug or what, guys, I imagine it is, just leave it at the first one and don't even bother upgrading it until this is addressed. So now that we have the first one selected for the gearbox, it will save and you will be able to use this tune outside of testing mode. So anyways, let's go back to my tune here. And for the people that are familiar with Car Edition, this may be a little bit new to you, because in Car Edition you had a final drive where you can change, but this one doesn't have a final drive. It has a front sprocket and a rear sprocket. Well, basically that is your final drive for a bike. And these numbers represent how many teeth is on the gear, the sprocket for the front and rear. So if you divide the rear sprocket, if you divide the larger number by the smaller number, the rear and the front, you get your final drive. So 55 divided by 14 is about 3.928, and that's the final drive I'm using for this. So just to clear that up, if you guys didn't know, that's what it is. And then you would just tune the gears like normal. So, and another thing is, you may have noticed that my third gear and my fourth gear are the same. Well, I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit. So let's just take this for a test drive and see what it hits. Oh, and here's another tip. You guys, you've said that when you press the pedal, the shifter, there's a small delay that it doesn't shift immediately when you're pressing it. Well, here's why. I'm gonna show you me pressing it. See how it's not releasing? I mean, it didn't release when I pressed it. It's because, see this? It's because unlike Car Edition, when you press the shifter, it shifts gears, but on bikes, it actually shifts gears when you release the pedal. So you press it and you release the clutch, I guess you can say, and that's how it shifts. So just what I like to do is I kind of just press down on the shifter and hold it, and when I'm ready to release, I release. That's the way I like to drive it. You guys don't have to, but that's what I do. But NOS is not like the pedal. It will work as soon as you press it. So we got a 6.134, and that's with only using 3 gears. And mind you, this bike has 6 gears, but I only use 3. So you imagine if I'm only using 3 gears, let's try 4 gears and see what happens. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to raise my third gear. Let's raise it to maybe about 1.448. Oh, and another thing, for my phone, see, when I select the boxes, my keyboard's supposed to pop up, but it doesn't on my phone. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, so I'm kind of stuck doing this. So if you're tapping on the bar pretty far away from the gears or the slider, you have a move up by 5, and if you tap it closer, it'll just move up by 1. So at least you can do that, which is kind of nice. So let's just go about there. Okay, now we use 3 gears and I got 6.135. I'm gonna use 4 gears, and I mean that should make me go a little bit faster. Let's find out. Okay, so if 3 gears gave us a time of 6.135, 4 should give us a faster time, so let's see what we do. .165, so that actually slowed down by about 0.13 of a second, so that's kind of strange. Let's go in and use 5 gears and see what happens. So we'll move this to 137 because we know that's about when we finish the race at. And I'm just going to even out the gears in between. Well, not even out, but adjust them accordingly. So make this about 1.45, and this about 1.58. Okay, so I'm going to use 5 gears this time and see what happens. My time got even slower. As you guys can see, there's a pattern going on here, and it doesn't take a genius to figure out if I'm going to use my last gear, I'm going to get an even slower time. So that really isn't how it's supposed to work. I know what you guys are thinking. I'm not going to say it, but for now, let's just kind of think outside the box. And for this 1/8 of a mile, we're going to use, let's load it back again. We're going to use 3 gears. 1, 2, and 3. Forget about the rest for this 1/8 of a mile. So when you're tuning bikes, guys, I want you to kind of think maybe not all gears will work best all the time. Now, technically it should, but right now it's not. And you know what, they're always fixing and updating the game at a pretty fast rate because it just came out, so don't expect this to always be like this. So just think about that. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Let's show you the upgrades. When you're picking upgrades, I want to also point out that for some cars, you'll notice that you can pick the cylinders down here, or you can pick up an option up here that might be the same for the same level. So sometimes there is an option, and I just want you to make sure you notice that. On this bike there isn't. And sometimes you can pick the top option or bottom option and still be in the same level. Usually I've always picked the top option, but you can try the bottom. Usually I found that to be a little bit slower. But so for a couple of these upgrades, you have options of going the top route and the bottom route. Just want to point that out. But unlike Car Edition, you had to really like mix and match numbers. But this one, if it says level 1, 2, or 3, that's the level that you end up your bike will be. Even if you buy, like, let's say you bought level 4 on the tires, but the rest was level 1, your car would be a level 4. It would not be a level 1. So remember, you have to stick into that level for all your upgrades. So anyways, don't buy anything up don't bother buying anything here. Just leave it at the first one on the left. You know, everything else is pretty self-explanatory. They're all number ones. But I'll show you in other cars that it can change. And let's look at the tune one more time. There's my those settings, and here's the gears. And remember, we're only using 3 gears, so don't even worry about anything beyond that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe the video, and I'll be doing more tutorials and tips as I find them.